Alright, so this is one of my favorite opening hands if I'm going first. Um, with a hand like this, you can do some ridiculous stuff to your opponent. Set up a really strong field. So, to the inexperienced player, to the pure build, won't really know what they're looking at. But, obviously, we'll open Kamachi, activate Anatomy, activate Cash, search out Nishipashi, use Nishipashi. We can easily get another Nanishi or get Castle, depending on what we're playing. But if we don't know what we're playing, more than likely we'll get a tuner. So we'll get Watchdog, because remember, we did open up with Stronghold Moving Fortress. So we'll get the Watchdog. Kamachi will go in a defense position after Cash, of course. Then we'll summon. Now we play Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion will fetch us Cyber Source, Synchro. We'll make Burrito. Activate Burrito's effect. And Burrito will fetch us Strategist, We'll fetch a Strategist. Strategist effect will activate, put himself in attack mode. That'll allow us to draw. It'll also put a counter on Anatomy. For Anatomy, we draw MST. So now we're sitting on a hand of Warning, Stronghold, MST, and Watchdog. Tribute Anatomy. Draw a couple more cards. Look at that, we got another Merchant, Upstart. And from there, jeez, what is going on in Niteria Beast? So now we're sitting on Burrito and Niteria Beast. We can set our MST, Warning, and Stronghold, and tell our opponent go. So now there's no searching, there's no Rhoda, there's no Dark Hole, there's no Sheehan Smoke Signal, there's no there's no Necro Valley. All that shit is shut down until they kill an Niteria Beast. So a lot of times your opponent's going to be forced to sit cards to the back row, forced to set a monster or whatever, depending on how many they set. We can end phase MST, or we can just call it out. And on our turn, we draw a random card, and we draw Solemn. Remember previously, we had set the Stronghold. Play Upstart and see what we get. Got a deep prison, but it doesn't really matter. Activate Stronghold. So Watchdog, we can go into another Burrito. And if we get Beauty off of the second Burrito's effect, then we can second summon, and we can get the Merchant. And at this point, we can get Cash Shed, because we'll leave Beauty in defense mode. That makes Cash Shed live. Or we can sync again for Catastor and just put our first Burrito in defense mode, since he won't change battle positions if he's attacked. That will also allow us to draw two from the two different Burritos. And just a simple situation like that, it might look kind of far-fetched, but you'd be surprised how often you can open ridiculous fields like that. Alright, let's go you guys another example. Alright, at this point I want to demonstrate really interesting hand to plus on your opponent. Sometimes you just can't perfectly set up situations, but what you can do is try to go for the best possible combination of plays that can lead up to this. And you know, sometimes your opponent will have those back rows, and you just have to go for it. Sometimes you have to plus. You're reading that warning, so you try to MST it and hope you hit it. Nope. Activate the reborn. Up there's the warning. So your opponent's like, okay, 3 cards down. He did that plus, and your opponent doesn't know that they're sitting on that monster, they're sitting on that Brio, or they're sitting on that monster with really shitty defense. And they're thinking they're in there now at this point. So you activate your castle, activate your anatomy, summon quick. Quick attacks, their monster is shifted to defense position, and it gets nuked, gets killed in battle. Quick's effect will bring in Strategist. Strategist comes in defense off of Quick's effect. That was their last monster, or even if they had one more monster on board, instead of switching Strategist to attack mode, you can put Quick into defense mode, and that puts a 1 counter on your anatomy. Main phase 2. Synchro Shokan. Get a Buri. Buri's effect will activate. I would get a Kamachi. Get the Kamachi in attack mode. Use Buri's effect, put the Kamachi in defense mode. That puts 2 counters on your anatomy now. Pop that off. Draw 2 cards. We got Bookamoon and the Samu. Now, from here, hell, we can do some cute little things here. We can Kamachi's effect is being applied, and you get second normal summon, going to another Buri. If your opponent's top decking, you could go into Landois, hold that Bookamoon, and lock out their effects. Hell, if we had drawn instead of the Soldier and the Bookamoon, had we drawn a Strategist instead of the Soldier, we could have easily second summoned the Strategist, fetched another castle, set the castle over the old castle, destroying it. That would special summon Quick. Their opponent, remember, still has 1 more monster on board, maybe 1 card in hand. From there, we can just say, fuck your couch, go into Trishula, pop the remaining monster, hit a card in grave, and hit that last card in their hand. And just like that, we've gained control over the board. Activate our castle, and then end our turn. It's not so much an unlikely scenario if you think about it, because I know there's been many times you're like, oh my god, how did I just play out of that? So, there are situations that are not so unlikely that this deck can pull off, and that was just an example. Alright, so here again, we're at one of those awkward game states, and my opponent is in rough condition. I have no field. It's my turn. In this situation, I would just, summon my Soldier, poke for 14, and end with no backfield. My opponent would draw. He's playing Sam, of course. Goes Kageki keys in. Doesn't want to attack, doesn't want to give me what I want. I'm feeling pretty confident that his guy is, 17 and 18. I'm going to have to ram my guy to get something bigger. But he would rather me do that and give up my battle phase, do some shenanigans than to give me something immediately I need and let me combo out. So, just sitting there. It's my turn. I drop the Inasachi. And here's where things get kind of interesting. I summon Quick. I can use my Soldier attack their Kageki, I'll take 300 from my deck. I can get Watchdog, use Watchdog to attack the Kageki. And people forget that Watchdog can't be destroyed by battle, and when you take battle damage, or he can't be destroyed by battle when he's in attack mode, and when you take battle damage with Watchdog, all your Karakuri guys gain 800 attack. So now my quick is 2500, and we'll just run over his Kageki now, because we don't want him to tune with it some kind of way magically. Using Quick's effect, we can get Beauty. Main phase 2, we can apply Beauty's effect to double summon, and we'll search whatever card. Let's say we can get Castle. We want to do some shenanigans later on, or since we're fearing opponent coming back on us, we can either search the shed. So these are two possibilities, depending on the game state again. So we activate our anatomy from here. We can trishula our opponent's field, but we want to get some draws off the anatomy. So we can synchro Burrito. Burrito will get us hyper. We're running low on level 4 guys, since we've been going through this. It's hyper, and Kamachi will give us Buri. Buri's effect will get us Strategist. Strategist will change battle positions, netting us a card off of Burrito. Also putting a counter on anatomy. We'll use anatomy, or we'll use Bure's effect, and we can do something really weird here. We can put him in defense position. He has 1900 defense. That puts the second counter on anatomy. Tribute anatomy. Draw 2 cards, Solemn and Instant Fusion. From here we can combo out for more, since we just top deck Instant Fusion. We can go into Stardust, which would be preferable. Or we go into Stardust, so we activate Cybersaurus. Go into Startard, or activate Instant Fusion to get Cybersaurus, Startard. And now we have a field of Merchant, Shogun, Burrito, and Shogun Bure, with the Deep Prison, Cash Shed, and Solemn Judgment. And that just, all that off 3-4 cards, we end up with, 3 huge synchros, a floater, and, some pretty serious back row. And I always have to say this as sort of a disclaimer. These are, almost ideal situations, but they're situations that can come up real easy if you look for them. So, always be mindful of the times when you can make those plays. Alright guys, again, if you guys liked it, thumbs up, comment, let me know, and I'll put together some more tutorials for this deck and other decks that I create. WK Dad, Papa Jutsu tutorial, and I'm out.